Hi, everybody. This is Raquel. I'm the Flip Flop Dog Trainer, and today we're going to talk about separation anxiety in dogs. Why is it such a big deal? Why so many people struggle with that? And how does it present itself? And how do you fix it? Okay, so if you're new here, my name is Raquel. I've been a dog trainer for 15 years. I have plenty of work documented on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go back and check it out. I usually document all my work, and I've worked with tons of dogs that display separation anxiety. So I'm going to talk about my own experience as a trainer and what I see the owners making, the mistakes the owners are making, and why so many people are still struggling. Separation anxiety is just a form of anxiety. Its anticipation is the inability to self-soothe and to be on its own when we're talking about dogs. A lot of people get dogs in their homes and they believe that all the dog needs is love and freedom, and the dog is just going to learn by itself. And it's just not true. In the dog world, we have a lot of different personalities, and when it comes to feeling secure or insecure, nervous, fearful, whatever you want to call it, every dog has its own personality. A lot of dogs out there are unexperienced or have weak nerves. The dogs that we call that have weak nerves are insecure dogs. By nature, that's how they are. In every 10 dogs, you're going to find 2 or 3 that are very confident. The rest of them are going to be in the middle or very weak when it comes to nerves. What does that mean? It means your dog really needs a very solid foundation and a good process of learning how to deal with different things. And being by itself is one of those things. The first thing I talk about with every client is the crate, how important the crate is to avoid not only separation anxiety, but many of the problems the dog may display. In the beginning, people don't understand. People just think that crate is just for potty training, but it's really not. The crate is supposed to be a safe place for the dog. It's supposed to be a place for the dog to sleep and be okay, relaxing when we cannot supervise it. But people just use the crate for a very short time and then they believe the dog doesn't need it no more. A lot of people work from home. A lot of people spend a lot of time with their dogs, but they don't see where they're failing because they're constantly allowing the dog to do whatever he wants and be around them every time they're available. So we become way too available for the dog and we don't let it know what it has to do to be in our realm. So it's not a problem that you spend a lot of time with the dog, but the problem is the quality of time. What are you doing with that dog with all that time? Now, what we see in separation, or what people call separation anxiety dogs, are dogs that are constantly pacing, constantly moving. They bark, they whine, they follow you everywhere. They react kind of explosively when they see new things or strangers come in the house or the doorbell rings and all that. That's all anticipation. This is a dog that hasn't been through a program to teach him how to deal with all those things. The teaching process involves direction, which is a lot of exercises that we do to shape that behavior to create what we want as far as response. And we also use corrections because the dog needs to be corrected when he makes the wrong choice. And this is the part of the process that a lot of people struggle with. A dog that has never been corrected is not going to know that what he's doing is not allowed or not good for him. Corrections are pretty much a safety feature in dog training for us to keep the dog safe and keep the dog in a realm of behavior that is going to be acceptable inside the house and outside the house. We all have different lives. We all eventually go out without our dogs. The dog needs to understand that. In order for the dog to understand that, the crate is crucial. He has to understand that there are times during the day that he's going to lay down and relax in the crate. Not because everybody's home, it means that he has to be around everybody all the time. Other than the crate, the dog has to learn how to stay in one place, lay down, chill, and relax, and just watch what's going on around it. It's not the dog's job to control everybody in the house, to patrol everybody in the house. And I think this is one of the major things that I see with dogs that come in with separation anxiety. A lot of people say, well, when I'm here, he's okay. And I say, he's okay doing what? Oh, he just lays there. I say, where? Wherever he picks or chooses. And that's the problem. You're not going to see a lot of trouble when a dog has freedom to choose. But that freedom to choose is going to put that dog in a very dangerous place. Why? Because at one point, he's not going to be able to choose if you're there or if you're not. And when you leave, that's when everything else happens. Now the dog's barking, whining, scratching at the door, destroying things, peeing, pooping in the house, all that, because at that moment, he's lost. He lost control. You're not there. The dog doesn't know what to do. So the training with separation anxiety really becomes crucial when you're in the house. I always talk to people about that. I say, what do you do with your dog when you're in the house with it? Oh, I feed him, I walk him. Okay, how do you do those things? There's structure behind everything we do with our dogs. And when I say structure, I mean rules. I'm going to lay down the rules, teach you what I want, and I'm going to correct you when you don't do it right. And correction is presented throughout the training. When I'm teaching the mechanics of an exercise to the dog, I'm going to clean it up using corrections. And that's super important. If the dog doesn't go through that learning process, he's never going to understand. So a dog is not going to just wake up one day and mature to be a secure dog that knows how to be on its own. He's not. And so stop believing in that stuff. Oh, the dog is going to grow out of it. He's not. So we really need to lay down the structure for the dog and understand how to teach the dog to be in the crate, calmly in the crate, to be in a place command and hold that place command for a long period of time, because that's going to allow you to have guests in the house, have people to do maintenance in your house, to take your dog out to different places, maybe an outdoor cafe or store, anywhere that you want to take your dog with you, and he's not going to become a problem. A lot of people that have those so-called separation anxiety dogs can probably testify to the fact that these dogs are constantly moving. This is one of the things that a lot of people struggle with. They don't understand the value of duration work in training. When I say duration work, I'm talking about commands that the dog can hold for a longer period of time. A lot of dogs know how to sit and down, but most of these dogs don't know how to hold those commands for more than 2 or 3 seconds. And that's when the anticipation comes. It doesn't serve me nothing if the dog just sits for a second or lays down for a second. If I need to work, if I have a meeting on the computer and I need to sit down for an hour, I need my dog to be laying down for an hour. That doesn't mean the dog is going to be a statue for the rest of the day. It means that the rest of the day, I'm going to provide the dog with a walk and everything else he needs. But at that moment, I need him to hold place, or I need him to hold the down command, however you want to call it. So it takes a lot of a learning from the human behind the dog to lay that law, that different kind of living with the dog in order for the dog to overcome separation anxiety. Remember, dogs want to be in a safe place. And the teaching, the training is all about teaching the dog this new language that's going to keep him on track, and his life is going to be very predictable. If he understands what you want from them, that's fine. But if he doesn't, then all the confusion sets in. So separation anxiety is just a form of anxiety. A lot of dogs are anxious in general. They're anxious when people come in your home. They're anxious when you come back from work. They're anxious when they go out. And any type of anxiety has to do with lack of structure and lack of correction, which, correction is inside structure. And it's about you not having a plan, not understanding, okay, I'm going to take my dog for a walk now. I need some rules to make that activity pleasurable for both parties. So the dog has to sit down and hold sit until I get the leash and put the leash on and get him ready. He has to sit down before I open the door. I has to know how to wait on thresholds. He has to wait on the other side of the door so I can lock the door. He cannot just go flying out the door and because he wants to go to the bathroom. So we have to set our schedule, and we have to set the dog to success when we put in place those rules. And in order for the dog to understand that, we have to present the rules and correct when he breaks the rules. It's pretty much what that is. I'm going to talk more about it in more videos, but I want you to understand that if you have a dog today that displays any of those symptoms, and you're thinking about it just as far as separation anxiety, just open your mind a little bit more, because it's more than that. It's just not the separation thing. It's the whole picture. A lot of things have to change, and it's probably going to take a lot of effort in your part to put those things into practice. Training is important. If you have difficulties, if you don't know how to start, contact a trainer. You can contact me or any trainer you like, but start changing your lifestyle with that dog. It's all about that. And that lifestyle has to be training. And training is a lot simpler than you think. Training is really a part of your life. It's the little things you do with your dog every day that is going to guarantee its success. So I can go more into it later, but if you have any questions about separation anxiety, if you want to talk about your specific situation, please leave it in the comments. I'll be more than happy to reply to you or make another video talking about your case specifically, okay? I'll see you in the next one.